Hello and welcome back to Auto Social UK. Large Vauxhalls have always been a firm favourite amongst families in the UK, but the Vauxhall Insignia has some tough competition. Whether it's from similar cars like the Skoda Superb or the Volkswagen Passat, or maybe more premium brands like the BMW 3 Series or the Audi A4, which are both made affordable by cheap finance packages. There's no denying that this is a tough segment to compete in. What's made even harder is the rise of the SUV. Cars like this are being ditched in their dozens for these larger, higher riding cars. Even Vauxhall themselves have seen great results from the sales of their Grandland X. So what is the reason you'd still want to buy an Insignia? Well, I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. But before that, if you like new car reviews, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on that bell notification if you never want to miss a video. Right, let's get into it. Despite all of that tough competition, Vauxhall have hit back with a facelifted Insignia which is better than ever. Plus, this actually marks the last car that you can buy that Vauxhall designed when they were still run by General Motors. Future models will be developed under the Stellantis brand and will share their technology with cars from Peugeot and Citroën. The new facelift doesn't do much to mess with the winning formula. The main surefire way to tell that this is the new Insignia is by the front grille. It now has the much more blingy front grille that you'll find on the Vauxhall Corsa. And you've also got a new set of sleeker, sharper front lights. Those headlights can be upgraded to Vauxhall's latest IntelliLux units, which use a matrix of LED technology to automatically dip its main beam in sections, allowing you to see as much of the road as possible without dazzling other drivers. The new Vauxhall Insignia looks sleeker and more coupe-like than ever before, and that's aided by the add of these sharp lines that run along the side of the car. It also looks wider and lower, and that's been helped by the addition of these front air intakes and integrated fog lights. Vauxhall keeps the trim lines relatively simple. There is 5, with 4 regular and 1 sitting at the very top. Kicking off the regular trims, you've got the SE navigation. That's then followed by the SRI navigation, and then the VX line navigation, which adds some sporty styling and some front sport seats. Then you have the Ultimate navigation, which is the car that I have here today, and that prioritises comfort and technology over the sporty styling of the VX line. As all of the names suggest, they do all come standard with satellite navigation. The GSI model stands alone at the top, its name harking back to some of the best performance Vauxhalls of all time. The interior will be greatly received by anyone who dislikes these new cars which have ditched all of their buttons. The Insignia still has lots of physical buttons to be able to press. The only slightly disappointing thing is this 8-inch colour touchscreen. It is slightly small now we're in 2021. More importantly, you get a proper climate control panel, hotkeys below the infotainment and a button-laden steering wheel, all of which major on clarity and simplicity. The infotainment too is a simple affair and easy to get to grips with, while the dials are a particularly legible mixture of physical and digital. Compared to the VX line model, which really focuses on that sporty styling, the Ultimate Nav focuses on comfort. So I've got a heated steering wheel, heated seats, I've got keyless entry and keyless start, I've got wireless charging and, as well as electric adjustable seats, they're even massage. On top of a lot of the standard equipment like automatic lights and wipers, automatic high beam assist, satellite navigation, Apple and Android CarPlay, you can also add a lot to the Vauxhall Insignia as well, included an automatic parking assistant, heads-up display and even a Bose sound system. Space in the back of the Insignia is a massive plus. I've got this passenger seat as far back as it will go and I've still got loads of legroom. And even though there's a sloping roofline, I've still got plenty of headroom as well. Even in the VX line, which concentrates on sporty styling and has some chunkier front sports seats, there's still plenty of room. What's really nice is rear passengers get treated to 2 USB slots and even rear seat heating, which isn't a given in a car of this class. The Insignia doesn't lead the pack for boot space. The Skoda Superb takes that crown, but it does offer plenty of room nonetheless, with a boot space of 490 litres. Under the bonnet is where there's been the biggest change. There's now 5 new engine options, which hopefully will have something for everyone. There's 2 diesels, which is a 1.5 litre 4-cylinder diesel engine producing 120 brake horsepower, and then there's a more powerful 2 litre 4-cylinder diesel which produces 172 brake horsepower. Then you have the petrols. There's a 1.4 litre 3-cylinder petrol that produces 143 brake horsepower. And then you've got a 2 litre petrol which produces 197 brake horsepower, or if you go for the range chopping GSI, you get 227 brake horsepower. The car that I'm driving today is the 120 brake horsepower paired with a manual gearbox. What's funny is this is actually the first diesel car that I've driven on the channel, apart from, of course, the Ford Ranger. And that's kind of the way that the world is going. Everybody's ditching their diesel cars and moving over to petrol. But the Insignia has always sold very well with its diesel cars, and a lot of people opt for them for their long journeys. This 120 brake horsepower engine will probably be more than enough if you're used to prioritising fuel economy over power, especially if you're going from one of the older Insignias with a similar output. For people that are used to petrols, it's going to feel slow, but that's always the price you pay for a fuel economy of over, say, 60 miles per gallon. If you're going to be doing a lot of shorter town journeys, then this engine definitely isn't for you. It feels really quite loud and sluggish around town. But as soon as you get out onto the motorway, it soon settles down and the noise reduces as well. One of the key pointers of this new Insignia is the reduction in emissions. It's much cleaner than the car that it replaces, which should bode well for company car drivers, as they make up the majority of sales for the Insignia. It's a shame that there's no hybrid option for the Vauxhall Insignia, because of course you've got the Skoda Superb IV and the Peugeot 508 plug-in hybrid. We have seen some new electric and hybrid cars coming out from Vauxhall, but they are with the new Vauxhall-Peugeot partnership. And of course, this was the last car that was still designed by General Motors. Perhaps we'll get a Vauxhall Insignia electric in the future, but it's certainly not going to be for a few years yet. Depending on what trim level you go for, the Insignia comes with a rear view camera, and it also comes with the option to add on rear cross traffic alert. And what that does is if you're reversing onto a busy road, the Insignia will alert you to cars coming, which is a handy tool to have if you live in busy built-up areas. There's also a forward collision alert with auto emergency braking and pedestrian detection, all things that NCAP heavily penalises a car for not including as standard. The adaptive cruise control has lane keep assist and cameras under the windscreen that will detect traffic signs, with a display on the dashboard for maximum speed and so on. Your position on the road is really nice in the Insignia. It may not be as high up as something like an SUV, but because there's quite a lot of movement in this front seat, if you want to sit up nice and high and sit over the road, you can. Or if you want to bring the seat right down and have a sporty feel, you can do that as well. It really does have the best of both worlds. The steering feels really well weighted, but it's also reasonably responsive. The whole car just feels really solid on the road. Despite the slight juddering you get out of the 1.5 engine at low speeds, it's still reasonably comfortable, and the car's suspension soaks up bumps well, although you would hope that for a car of this class. Though I don't think the 1.5 litre diesel engine is a bad engine, I would definitely pay a little bit extra to step up to that 2 litre, just to get some extra power and some extra torque.
One thing the Vauxhall Insignia definitely has going for it, and that's the price. These cars are actually priced similar to other brands' smaller hatchbacks. Kicking off the lineup, you've got the SE Navigation, coming in at $23,795. Next up, the SRI Navigation starts from $23,545, the VX line from $26,545, and the Ultimate Navigation that I've been driving today starts from $28,125. At the very top of the lineup is the GSI, starting from $38,125. All of these cars are currently available with the first year's free insurance. My pick of the bunch would be the SRI Navigation, paired with the 2-litre diesel and the automatic gearbox. And when you compare it to a similarly spec'd Skoda Superb, it looks very reasonable. What do you think of the Vauxhall Insignia? Please let me know in the comments below. If you've liked this video, please give it a massive thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button if you never want to miss another video from me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!